I think I offended some Clemson country music fans the last time we interviewed. I want Clemson family to know that I do listen to country music, okay? 1993, I went to a Garth Brooks concert in 1993 at the Charlotte Coliseum that doesn't even exist anymore, all right? My good buddies, Corey Smith, a country music artist, Luke Combs.
He's a Georgia Bulldog now. That don't count.
Well, I mean, he's still my guy, and Luke Combs is App State guy, right? And then my girls are trying to get me on some Morgan Wallen, and I'm on the way to the gym this morning, and Morgan Wallen was with Lil Durk on a song, and y'all are looking at me like, who's Lil Durk? All right, well, I need y'all to look that up, okay? So I just want to make sure, right? I want to make sure everybody understands. I like country music. I just don't prefer country music when I'm in the tight end room with the boys. All right, so I just wanted to get on the same page as we went into this fall.
So that's a perception thing. I don't want to look soft.
Yeah. Perception is not reality when it comes to country music. So, what we got?
So I take it that you heard from some people after that.
Yeah, I did.
That happened. Who did you hear from?
Well, you know, my first of all, my mom likes to keep up with all of y'all, right? and fill me in when I don't want to be filled in. But anyway, it was all fun.
You have to feel really good about this room this year, considering, you know, obviously you lose Davis Allen, but man, you've got some depth there and some quality depth.
Yeah, I'm super excited about the room. Obviously, Davis was a great player. Luke, you know, contributed in ways that we needed last year, and but you know, you move on, and this room's great. It's set up to be successful. Brinkstall's had a great offseason. I mean, he looks totally different. He's transformed his body, and from everything I'm hearing from this summer, he's had a phenomenal summer. And then Sage has gotten healthy and is having a great summer himself and had an awesome spring. So with both of those pieces, you got some leadership, you got some people that know how college football works and obviously what the standard is here at Clemson. This is year 2 of me being with those two guys too, so there's more, you know, you're more comfortable with each other. And then you got a guy like Sapp who's still coming along, and then you got 2 young guys that just got here, Marcus Dixon and Olsen Pat Henry. So I'm really excited to get on the field and have those guys. And then you got some other pieces in the room. Banks Pope had an unbelievable spring, and you got Griffin Batt and Will Blackson in there. So it's 8 guys I love being around, and I can't wait to get some more time with them. In the summer, you're so hands off with them, and the strength staff has got them. So I'm looking forward to a few weeks here, being able to spend some more time with them and get fully locked and loaded on football season with them.
How healthy is the tight end room?
Good, you know, extremely healthy right now. You know, everybody's full go. There's been no limitations. Sage had a little bit of limitations at the beginning of the summer from his wrist injury in the spring game, but everybody's full go now, and nobody's been held back.
Has anything changed in the strength and conditioning to keep these guys as healthy as you can? I mean, I know it's football and it's a contact sport, and you're going to have injuries, but
yeah, not really. I mean, the strength staff here, you know, Coach Batson and everyone does a great job knowing, you know, when to push and when to pull back with these guys, and then obviously Pat and Alex do an unbelievable job in the recovery side and the preventive side of it and the training side of it. But a lot of it has to do with the guys too. They have to take some accountability in their nutrition and their rest. And that's something I've really challenged this group with, and that's where I think you're seeing the change in, like, Brenning Stool's body, for instance. When you see him compared to last year at this point, you're going to be like, wow, like you can see the transformation. But he's taken another step in his nutrition. Megan does an unbelievable job with our nutrition staff, and they really bought into her plan and her ideas, and same thing with Sage. You're going to see him, and, you know, man, he looks different. So the whole room is really bought into not just, hey, I need to go work hard in the weight room, but and that's never been a problem. But I got to work hard in the weight room, and then I got to fuel my body the right way. I got to rest my body the right way, and then all of that ties into staying healthy. At the end of the day, football's a contact sport. You're going to get banged up, and there's going to be some injuries that nothing could have prevented. But you can help yourself, and they've done a good job of that.
A couple of things that make this offense so hard to defend. Number one, presentation, what you see with the motions and the shifts and things like that. And then number two, finding the matchup.
Yep.
How does somebody like Jake present a little bit of a nightmare for opposing defenses in that regard?
I think with him and his skill set, you can get in a bunch of different formations. You can get in a bunch of different concepts, whether it's pass or run, and not have to change out your personnel based off what you're trying to do in that concept. So it's having another wide receiver on the field, but he's a tight end, and he can go in the box and still hold up in the run game and do what you got to do in the run game. But if you're not changing out your tight end a lot and being able to set up a tendency with, hey, they only do this with 4 wide receivers in there. Well, now you leave him in the game, and they can't sit there and go, well, they're only going to do this. No, the whole playbook's wide open because of his skill set. And then the flip side of it is, like I said, you're not locked into a run-pass situation with a guy like him. The whole thing's available, and you can rock and roll with it. So I think that's the hardest thing when you got a guy like him that's a matchup problem. It's still being able to run your entire system without having to set up some tendencies. And he's a big-time tendency breaker when it comes to what he brings to the table.
At 6'6", 6'7", 235 or whatever,
Yeah.
Does he compare to anybody? Does he kind of remind you of anybody? It's a big tight end.
Yeah, he's. I was just telling the radio. I mean, he's got a rare skill set and rare athletic ability for this position. There's not a lot of brain stools running around to go recruit. So I'm really excited about him taking the next step. Like I said, he's done an unbelievable job taking the next step in the transformation of his body and committing himself to the nutrition side of it. He's really taken off, and all that's going to do is just help him on the field continue to be matchup problems.
Kyle, there's been a lot made over the years of how Dabo brings in assistants, homegrown connections, guys he's known for a while. How has Garrett fit in so far with all you Clemson guys?
Yeah, I mean, he's been awesome. He's a down-to-earth guy, and we've all meshed very well together, offensive staff with him, and you wouldn't think that we haven't been together for a long time. So it's been awesome, and that chemistry and that connection only helps with our players. And he's a great teacher, and just coming in and bringing in this system. I knew a lot of it already, but I haven't been in it in the last 7 or 8 years. So there's tweaks and there's things that he does different, and it's been great for me to learn from him. And I'd say that was the biggest thing that I've kind of taken from him is coming in with a new staff, him not knowing anybody, and just coming in and just going to work and teaching. He taught the offensive staff first, and then we turned around and went and taught the players. And we've continued that this summer. That hasn't stopped. We just spent all day yesterday just watching all our spring cut-ups and just talking through what questions do you have. Is there something that you see different that I do that maybe we need to tweak? So it's just been, the collaboration has been really good. So it's been great.
The first time that you sat down to talk football with him, did you kind of smile and go, hey, we speak the same language?
Well, it's funny because I was, kind of, before I met with him, I was kind of refreshing myself because, like you said, I hadn't been in it. I was in it for 13 years, and then I haven't been in it 7 or 8 years. So I found a notebook that was the first time I sat down with Matt Mummy, Hal's son, and Gary Goff, who's the head coach at New State. The first time I sat down with him and met Hal and learned the offense, I found my notes. And at the top of the page, it said, I think it was like February 6, 2006. So, the first time I met with Garrett to talk football back to this system was in February of 2023. Excuse me, it was February 2003. And then February 2023 is what I wrote at the top of my page as we started discussing offense again. So it was kind of cool. It's 20 years later, you know, certain things were still certain things 20 years later. And I also thought it was just cool, you know, February of 2003 to February 2023, that's 20 years, and now I'm at Clemson, and I'm getting ready to jump back into this system. So it's pretty fun, pretty exciting.
Have you seen, have the guys, the players taken to it pretty well? I mean, you've only had spring to really evaluate, but so far so good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I saw in the spring, you know, just kind of a twinkle in their eye that was a little bit different, and it's always kind of exciting when you have change, and you get to learn something new and grow, and I think they've done a great job with it. I haven't seen them this summer, but just from what I'm hearing this summer, I mean, they're out there having a ball with it, and it's going to be fun to get on the field with them in the fall and build off what we did in the spring. But no, there's a ton of excitement in the building, you know, obviously with the staff, but with the players, I think you got the same excitement and ready to roll.
I guess it shows to some on the outside too that Dabo's not as locked in his ways as he is. He knows what he has to do and can make change when he has to.
Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, he's obviously he's got a huge job and a huge commitment to this university, and accountable from a lot of people and putting the best product on and off the field, and he does an unbelievable job with that. But when you look back at it, he's no different than, you know, what the coaches are when they're reassessing their room at the end of the year and challenging and changing and doing whatever you need to do to, you know, take the next step. And at this time, he thought it was time to take a different route and take a new path, and that's what he did. And it's our job as coaches to support that decision and go full speed ahead with that decision. And then it's the job of the players to support the, you know, obviously the head coach's decision, but support the assistant coaches in that same decision and making it go. And that's what's happened, and it's going to be fun come September when we get in the Valley and show up at Duke for the first time rolling out this new offense.
Brittany, what did you challenge him with over the summer to really improve?